New Metaverse. You can play game and earn real money.
I'm back again. Let's start our journey of killing dragons and earn some crystals and map tokens today. You can see I have mined upgrades totally upgraded. Let's enter the mine. You can see on level 1 chapter 1 level 1 there are 2 chapters. On chapter 1 they have given great rhinoceros. Now he's going to die. Here we go. Yeah, we have some own skill points. Let's achieve click damage. Before it was 37, now it's 56. And on chapter 2 we have acid rhinoceros. And here we go. This is the main part. What part we choose, we get the monster soon there. Let's select right one. You can see I have chosen the right path. Yeah, if you see that I have entered chapter 2, and in chapter there are 2 paths, means I will face up to 25th or 26th I will get dragon. If we get level 1 chapter 2 3 parts, then you will get it on 15th or 17th chapter only. Let's kill this grey rhinoceros, level 1 chapter 2 part. And here we go for level 1 chapter 2 part 1 died and part 2 mountain rhinoceros. Let's upgrade some skills. I will just upgrade weapon damage. Now it's 494. And here we go for part 2. And let's move to chapter 3 part 1, acid rhinoceros. Let's move to chapter 3 part 2 by killing this acid rhinoceros. Here we go. And let's upgrade some special moves. Yeah, here we go. You can see this one. Auto click per second. Now we have entered the right path. You can see we have 3 chapters, 3 parts in chapter 4. Part 1 we have acid troll. Here we go for chapter 4 part 2, and on part 2 we have acid rhinoceros. Let's upgrade some skills. Let's increase weapon damage. You can see 493, now it is 986. On part, it's end of part 2 chapter 4 part 3 we have acid troll again. Let's upgrade some skills. Let's increase this one. You can see the damage has been increased with the unique skills we have by claiming the points. And this is the end of chapter 4 part 3. Let's move to chapter 5. Here we go. And on chapter 5 part 1 we have ancient troll. And in chapter 5 we have 3 parts. Let's increase the damage. And this is the end of chapter 5 part 1. Here we go. Let's claim the special point from special days. Here is the end of chapter 5 part 2. And let's move to part 3, ancient troll again. And here is the end of chapter 5 part 3. Let's move to chapter 6. Here we go. And on chapter 6 part 1 we have chimera. And here we go to chapter 6 part 2 ancient troll to part 3. Here we go. And on part 3 chapter 6 we have ancient troll. Let's upgrade some skill points. And we have got one new energy, burning energy. Let's move to chapter 7 part 1. On part 1 we have Bengal Chimera. Let's upgrade some skill points and take some. Oh, this one you can see the guy standing in it. We can get both click damage and weapon damage, you can see. And this is the end of part 2, chapter 7 part 1. And on part 2 we have Chimera. And on chapter 7 part 2 we have Bengal Chimera part 3. And let's move to chapter 8 part 1 Repo. Let's increase some special moves. And let's move to chapter 8 part 2. Here we go. And on part 2 we have ancient troll. And on part 3 chapter 8 we have Repo. Let's increase some points, valuable points. Let's select this one. In it we can damage more. You can just check it. Yeah. And here's the end of acid troll, and we have Tiger Chimera on chapter 9 part 2. Here is the end of chapter 9 part 2 Tiger Chimera. Here we go to part 3 acid troll. Let's claim some points, skill points, to increase skill power. And this is the end of chapter 9 part 3 acid troll. Here we go to chapter 10. Let's select the right path so that we can easily get the dragon as soon as possible. And we are to chapter 10 level 1 part 1. We have Chimera. Let's finish this Chimera and enter chapter 10 part 2. And here we go to part 2 acid troll. Let's kill this part 2 drug monster acid troll. And here we have one skill point. And on part 3 we have Chimera. Let's take some skill points. Let's fill it up first, then we'll go to. And here is the end of chapter 10 part 3 Chimera, and move to part 4. Here we go. And on part 4 we have acid troll. And here is the end of chapter 10 part 4 acid troll, and move to chapter 11. And on chapter 11 we have ancient troll and 4 parts in chapter 11. And is the end of part 1 chapter 11. Let's move to part 2. We have heaven repo, and this one is my favorite. I like the horns on his suit, and the white, my favorite color. And here's the end of chapter 11 part 2, and move to part 3. We have a acid rhinoceros with a firing skull drawn on his head crown. Let's claim some points. And here we have 5 parts on chapter 12. Big troll is the part 1 monster. Let's kill this monster. Let's select the part so that we can get easily the dragon. And here we are on chapter 13. We have 5 parts. We have chapter 13 part 1 repo, and here is the end of chapter 13 part 5. Let's move to chapter 14. Total 5 parts.